When Sri Patanjali was defining and describing yoga by compiling what yoga is from various ancient Vedic texts, this was thousands of years ago, he described it as simply stilling the fluctuations of the mind. And how do we do that? We do that by coming into the present moment, using breathing, and using our body, what we know as asana, postures, to practice yogasana. There's a variety of ways to practice yoga, and much of the time we might find that we're moving through a flowing practice in yoga, something that we hear a lot called vinyasa. And that's one way of practicing yoga. But if you happen to be sick, for example, coming through an illness, or something has changed in your life where perhaps you can't engage in that practice, or you're looking to view yoga in a different way, there is a way to practice yoga that involves holding postures and coming into a place of stillness. And this is how yoga was originally transmitted. It was a slower practice, it was softer, and in that stillness that can be cultivated, we find a quiet power. And the image that I can give you is imagine a tree outside, and this tree is planted next to pavement, and you see that roots have come up and cracked open the pavement. It didn't happen overnight, but it happened over time, slowly and powerfully. And so the theme of this practice is to come into a position of stillness, quietly, without a rush, holding postures where you'll build heat, and you'll be able to also come into a place of stillness and rest. So we'll start actually first by coming onto the back, starting in a shavasana, which we typically think of as reserving this toward the end when we've done all of the work. But can we let ourselves come into this practice without questioning it? Rest your back body onto the floor, relax the feet open, relax the shoulders open, let the palms face upward. And imagine that you're holding space in your hands so you can actually feel the space inside of your hands. Feel the air across the feet, and feel the air across the face, the chest. Feel the earth underneath the back body. And just let yourself relax. Notice your breath, let it be natural. Notice the textures of your breath, maybe jagged or sharp, may already be changing just by resting in this posture. And so stillness does not necessarily just mean languidity, right? It doesn't just mean rest on the beach, give up. Stillness can also come with power and tension. So I'm going to invite you to just tense the body. So curl the toes and then make fists with the hands. Let the stomach tense up. Let the chest tense up. Bring the shoulders up toward the ears. And you might even start to feel your body shake. So feel that tension building in the body. It might be silent, but you still feel the tension moving all throughout. So from the top segment, up from the head, all the way down through the middle segments, down to the base. Now let go of the tension. Relax. Let the breath come in and out more fully. And let go of the breath through the nose or the mouth. Inhale fully. Exhale through the nose or the mouth. One more time, inhale. And exhale. So we'll build in to more asanas in our practice, starting on the back. So bring the thighs in toward one another. Let the tops of the feet come up so it's pointing toward the top crown of your head. Let the toes point toward the ceiling. Begin to tense the thighs as if you were standing on the ground, and then lift the arms up and overhead. See if you can also draw the navel toward the spine. Feel some heat building here. Just in this simple posture, you're starting to feel work in holding and slowing down your practice. And so from here, you might continue to hold, or if you want to build a little bit more heat, you can press the palms together and bring them up towards the ears. So the arms are coming up towards the ears. And instead of resting the arms languid on the ground, see if you can keep them upward. You can bring your gaze up toward the palms. And this posture right here, as you hold, as you continue to breathe, is the same posture that you would come to in an Urdhva Hastasana standing position. So by holding the posture, you're able to steady the posture, feel the sensation of the posture. Change the perspective of your posture. You should feel some heat building. If this hurts for any reason, you can rest the arms. Just hold for a couple more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale one more time. And exhale. Rest the arms alongside of you. See if you can use mindful attention as you're moving through each of these postures. So even the transition, as I lift my right leg, place the right foot on the floor, and then place the left foot on the floor. I'm being mindful of the movements. Just as we move through transitions in life, we tend to lose sight of how the body is moving. We create some chronic injuries in the transition. So see if you can use the transitions as much as part of the practice as coming into the postures themselves. You can roll over onto the right side. And before coming up to sit, you can extend the left leg out away from you and use it as a lever, so using physics to help press up to sit. Slow and easy. So in this posture, come into a comfortable sweet seat. We call it Sukhasana pose. Relax the shoulders down, sitting upright. Soften the jaw and close the eyes. In yoga, we use pranayama. So we say pranayam with an aspiration at the end, pranayam, which is a breathing practice, intentional breathing, in order to find a place of stillness and come to center as we move through the practice. So inhale through the nose fully, completely. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. See if you can let the breath be natural. Again, finding a place of quiet stillness and just noticing how you feel. Is there any judgment of where you should be by now at this point in practice, where you usually might be if you've practiced before? Maybe it's similar, maybe it's different. Just notice. Again, blink the eyes open. And then come to stand at the front of your mat. So again, the transition is much a part of the practice as coming into the posture itself. So stepping right foot and then left foot onto the mat at the top of the mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Your feet and your posture might be a little bit different just by the way that your own anatomy is different. So if you need to, you can spread the feet a little bit more apart. The idea is that you have squared hips. So you're neither pointing the toes outward nor pigeon-toeing the feet. You're actually creating a squared set of hips so that both thighs are facing forward at the front of the mat. And we're going to build into our mountain pose and really understand and recognize the energetic qualities of what mountain pose is. So here, lift the left toes up all the way. See if you can spread the toes as wide as possible. This might feel hard. See if you can stay with that experience of spread toes, and one at a time, pinky toe to big toe, rest the toes back onto the mat. And then the opposite side. The right toes. So lifting the toes, widen the toes. It might feel different or similar to the other side. And then slowly start to release the toes, pressing them onto the mat one at a time, pinky toe to big toe. Press through the inseams of your feet. Press through the heels. Press through the sides of your feet. And press through the toes all together. Create a suctioning energy as if you're pulling up energy from the floor all the way from earth, coming now into the thighs. Relax the hands. Notice if the breath has escaped you. Continue breathing fully and completely. Notice if there's a serious face as you're practicing. See if you can soften the face, soften the jaw. Draw the navel in toward the spine. See if you can draw the tailbone down toward the earth. You're creating length in the spine. So sometimes we're excess lordotic or kyphotic, which means we're sometimes creating chronic back pain over time by arching our spine in a more exaggerated way. So if you can, see if you can create more space. You can even use your hand to bring yourself into a taller posture where your spine is lifting longer, creating spaciousness for the discs in the spine. And then lift the shoulders all the way up to the ears. Inhale. Exhale, keeping spine long, soften only the shoulders. One more time. Inhale, shoulders up toward the ears. And exhale again, spine staying long, soften just the shoulders. See if they can relax, almost like they're just sleeves. There's nothing inside of them. You're still tall, so your feet are still firm and grounded. You're still firm through the thighs. You can still feel strength in the spine, but you still feel a softness in the shoulders. Lift up tall through the chin, through the top crown of head. See if you can let it float. And now bring to mind the vision of a mountain. That's the name of this pose in English, Tadasana, mountain pose. What does it represent? Does it feel like the way you feel now in this posture? A posture we tend to move through really quickly, or at the supermarket we tend to lean to one side. Do we ever take the time to stand strong, tall, like mountain, slow, powerful, steady? If winds come, if rains come, are we unmovable? You can open the eyes if they're closed. And from here at the top of your mat or coming to center, lift the arms up overhead. And you can bring the gaze to the palms ahead of you. So this posture should remind you of what we were doing as we were lying reclined on the back. Sometimes we can do this posture where we feel languid when we're moving through it quickly, right? If we hold the posture, can you feel the same sensation that you did when we were lying down on the back? It took more work to keep the feet flexed. Can you feel that activity happening? Can you feel the activity from the navel coming toward the spine? Can you feel the activity from pressing the palms together? You should feel it right through your core. And can you focus on your gaze, what we call drishti in yoga? Continue to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the mind. Inhale. Is it at your palms? Exhale. Inhale. Send the mind through the eyes into the palms. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, release the hands all the way. Remember, the transitions are part of the posture. See if you can fold all the way down. Depending on the tightness in the backs of the hamstrings, you can fold all the way down, or if it hurts, you can pause wherever your body stops you. You can use blocks underneath the hands as you're folding forward. So this might be where I stop, or you might have more range of motion. Notice if you're tilting backwards in the feet and you're losing that grounding in the feet. Remember, widen the toes, press down, slow and easy, folding forward. And then this shifts the body weight using physics here, shifting the hips to be more over the knees, more over the ankles. So you're still grounded in mountain on half of your body. The rest of your body is slow and relaxed. You're changing the perspective that you have now on earth upside down. If for whatever reason this hurts or it doesn't feel right to you, you can always come up halfway or all the way. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Notice the mind. Inhale. Exhale. You can close the eyes if you'd like, or you can pick a point to gaze upon, either on the floor or the wall. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then slowly begin to walk the hands up the feet, keeping that groundedness in the feet so that you're lifted halfway. So your top crown of head is drawing away from the tailbone. So you should feel a tension between the two, which also keeps you firm and tall. Yoga by design, even thousands of years ago, took into account that when we are lifting up and down, we create a half lift, not just for part of a sun salutation, but to let the blood recalibrate in the body and the brain, the blood-brain barrier being very sensitive. Pause here. And then as you're ready to lift up, come back into an Urdhva Hastasana or an Urva Vrikshasana, as some call it, pressing the palms up ahead. And exhale, the palms come down alongside of the body, soften the gaze. See if now, having been reclined, having been lifted up, and having been folded forward, how does it feel looking through the eyes? So even just acknowledging the energy that moves through the eyes, again in yoga and Sanskrit we call it drishti, gaze. Soften the eyes and see if you can send energy top down and bottom up through the eyes and forward and ahead. Keeping your eyes here, lift the arms up and palms can touch. You can move your gaze to meet the palms if you like, or you can keep looking ahead. And step back with the left foot. You can take a wide step or you can take a short step. In taking the step back, take a peek down. Notice if the front knee is over the front ankle. Bring your gaze back to where it was, either at the wall ahead of you or maybe up at your palms. 3 breaths in and out here. Notice if the gaze starts to move, what might happen to the posture. And then release the arms, step forward mindfully. Left foot. We'll do it again. Inhale, reach the arms up, find your gaze at the wall ahead of you or at your palms. Might be the same or different on the other side. Remembering that the gaze is your focus and the fire in holding the posture. Step back with the right foot. So you're lunging on the left side. Front knee comes over the front ankle. And you can either widen your stance or you can shorten it depending on what feels right for you. And take 3 breaths in and out here. See if you can focus on the posture and focus on the breath if you find your mind wandering. When your eyes start to dart, it might give you a sense of where the mind is. So see if you can bring your attention through the gaze. And release the arms. Mindfully step forward with the right foot. Come back into your grounded mountain. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, fold all the way forward. So releasing out the energy that you just created through the eyes. Soften the eyes. You can flutter them if you want to. Relax the body. Halfway lift, bring the palms to your shins. And then slowly come up to stand. And we'll take 2 Virabhadrasana postures, one on either side. So step back with the left foot. The right knee comes over the right ankle. The back toes point in. See if the back toes can match the direction of your knee. So that's why that cue is there, just so that we're not torquing the knee in one direction. Typically, if our foot was flat this way and our toes were pointing this way, we might actually twist the knee a little bit. So see if they can match. And then lift the arms. So when we think of Virabhadrasana, it's a warrior. And this typically would represent pulling a bow. And as a warrior, I'm taking aim at something important. Imagine across the fingertips, there is a target. Continue to breathe in this posture, feeling heat building, the tapas building. And imagine the target ahead of you. Again, the mind funneled through the gaze, the drishti. Good. And straighten the front leg. And then heel toe the back foot in. And we'll come to stand together, and we'll do it on the other side. So step back with the right foot all the way. And the back toes point in. Left knee over the left ankle this time. And each hip might be a little bit different, so keep that in mind as well. Knee protected, lift the arms, focusing on the gaze. Imagine again that you're stringing a bow. You could even pull it if you want to. There's an intention, there's a potential there. There is an aim beyond you, stilling the mind as a purpose, a productivity. Continue breathing. And release the arms, straighten that leg, and heel toe, coming back together. And then come to sit on the mat, coming into a Baddha Konasana, a bound angle posture. So at the end of a yoga practice, typically you'll find that we come into seated postures and that we close the circuit. So you'll see that with the feet. You can feel more sensation on the feet, the hands, the lips. And when we're thinking about this sensorially in the brain, it's actually some of the most sensitive places on the body. And when you close it, you can actually feel warmth between the feet, warmth between the hands. And so this is a way of taking all of the practice that we've done, the breathing, the quieting of the mind, even if it felt a bit like a battle, coming back into a place of stillness where we are letting it all come together and rest within us. So then you can bring the hands to come onto the feet if you want. You can clasp. Otherwise, you can bring the palms to touch if you prefer that. And see if you can just watch the breath come in and out of the body, the change in the breath over time. You might be breathing a little bit more, even by simply holding postures. It's amazing the heat that we can build, amazing the focus that we can cultivate, the power. Notice if the mind is gripping to something in the pockets of quiet and silence. With the palms either touching, or if your palms are gripping at your feet, you can bow forward, resting the chest and the belly forward. Relax the jaw open. You might open and close it. A couple of firmer breaths in this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, you might bow a little more. Inhale. And exhale. And come back to sit upright. Slow, easy practice. Sometimes the slow, easy is the hard part, so if that's the case, it's good to acknowledge all of the good work that you're doing. Rest back into a shavasana. Relax the arms open. If there's anything touching the foot, take away any sensory stimulation. Anything around you, cover up if you feel cold. And then let the body rest into the comfort and support of the floor. See if you can take all that we practiced, all of the physical postures, standing, forward folding, lifted, arms open, arms at our sides. Intentional breathing, natural breathing, cultivation of drishti, softly focused, powerful gaze. Let that all be processed, accepted in your shavasana. Gently begin to deepen the breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Move the head and neck from side to side. Be organically reflecting on this practice, the experience, how you feel. Slowly roll over onto your right side, remembering again the transition is part of the practice. Extend the left leg, Press up to sit. The eyes open or close, come into a comfortable seat, just being mindful of the tendencies, the habits we have. So switch the legs if you typically put one in front of the other. And taking a moment to thank yourself for practicing. You can bring your palms to touch if you like. Namaste.